The following program does not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good afternoon and welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts Fred and Janet Cox right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board right now, send us an email. Our email address is liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. And now, right to your host of the Liquid Green Health Show, Fred Cox.
And good afternoon once again, everyone. This is a Sunday afternoon. It is the day when we are in touch with our friends and relatives right across the world. My name is Fred Cox. It's 5:30 p.m. and this is the Liquid Green Health Show. My co-host is not here this evening, so I'm on my own. And I want to say a warm welcome to our listeners in Toronto, across Canada, the United States, and right around the world. Our listenership is growing exponentially. We're getting listeners from all parts of the globe, and that is good. Today's broadcast, like all our broadcasts, is for education and entertainment purposes only, designed to stimulate the mind and help bring us one step closer to living a healthier lifestyle. Today's show is sponsored by Liquid Green Products, producers of eco-superior green cleaning products for your home, office, car, and pets. And if you want to know more about those products, please go to liquidgreenproducts.com, and everything you want to know about the products are right there. If you're not using Liquid Green Products to clean your home, office, and car, then what in the world are you using? We're streaming live, folks. We have 3 platforms today. We are on YouTube. That's the Liquid Green Health Show on YouTube. We are on Spotify. You could get all of our past shows on Spotify, whether or not you have a membership. And also we are live on Facebook at Liquid Green Products Inc. So if you want to, see how handsome I am, or how good looking my guest is, you're going to see him in a little while. Go to Facebook. On YouTube, when you get there, please click like, share, comment, subscribe. It's very important. We want to grow. The more you share, like, and subscribe, the more we're going to grow. And also, if you're writing us today, please let us know where you're writing from. Send your comments to liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. That's liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. Today's show was really inspired by a listener who a few weeks back asked us, what else do we do? Do we sell anything? Do we have any books? Do we have any products, health-related products? And so that gave us the idea that we should start talking about products that we have researched, products that we know are effective, that we use, and products that we can stand behind because we've used it. Some we've been using for years. And as a result, we're going to be talking about one of those products later on in the show. But today, as I said, the show was inspired by that, not just that email. There were a couple of emails that asked similar questions. And so we decided, you know what, let's start doing shows like this. So moving forward, we're going to be having similar shows. We're going to be having reputable individuals to come in and discuss, give us a little bit information on health products that have been tested, that are good, and a little bit about the company as well. My guest today is someone who I have known for quite some time. more than a decade. I think it's about 15, 16 years now that we've known each other. And he has been someone that I admire a lot, someone who is a very hard worker. He is well known in some circles. He's at the pinnacle of his profession, and somebody who I am pleased. In the Bible, there's a term that says, "I am well pleased," to introduce something to that in that phrase. This is my son in whom I'm well pleased. This is my friend in whom I am well pleased to introduce to my audience today, and his name is Foster Owusu. Foster and I, as I said, have been, in the same company for decades. He is more involved in that company than I am. And so I have to give you full disclosure. The company we're going to be talking about today and the products we're going to be talking about today, I am also a user and I am part of that company. So with that said, let me take this opportunity to introduce our wonderful guest. He's handsome looking today. I guess, he went and put on special makeup to come on my show. And I really appreciate that, Foster. Ladies and gentlemen, Foster Owusu. Good afternoon, Foster. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you for having me, Fred. I was listening to the intro, and I'm here to tell you, even though we're going to be talking about health, at least I've known about you for a very long time. I said to somebody that my very first Canadian wedding that I attended.
Oh, man, yeah.
You were the MC, and then about 15 years ago, we connected.
Yeah.
And then eventually I came by your house, and then we ran into a buddy of ours, the person who got married that I was invited about 5 years ago. And we were looking at each other thinking, where did you two meet? And that's where we found out that was the very first wedding I attended. So
okay,
a long time.
You go back a lot. So, that's interesting. I kind of forgot about that. But to the audience, let me give them a little more about you. Foster is an author. He's written 2 books, How to Fire Your Boss and Hire Yourself, and Leave Nothing to Chance with John Solider. He has been in network marketing since 1989 and has built a successful career in that field. As a matter of fact, he is currently, and I did mention that, he is currently one of the top income earners with his Canadian-based company. And that company is called Immunotech. It's a Canadian company, and it's based in Montreal. Foster is also a master motivator, coach, mentor, speaker, and an educator with a passion for leadership development. And like ourselves, that's myself and my co-host, she's not here today, he is very passionate about improving the world, empowering the world with health information, one person, one community at a time. So we're going to be sharing some of that passion, but he's going to be sharing some of that passion with us as we discuss very important male health issue. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be discussing prostate health. All right. So welcome once again, Foster. Before we get into the meat of the conversation, I would really like if you could tell our audience, just briefly explain to our audience about Immunotech and why you have spent so many years trusting and improving promoting Immunotech as a company.
Wow. Yeah, talking about that company, we can be here all night, but we don't have the time to do all that. But to the audience, I want you to know that I joined this amazing company back in February of 1999. So that makes it a little over 23 years. And when they say timing is everything, yeah, in this case, timing was everything. I was at a point in my life when I was dissatisfied. Let me leave it as that. I was dissatisfied and I was looking for something that could help me in the area of my health and being able to regain, my financial situation. I mean, I'm the first to tell people that back in 1999, my financial situation had dwindled to a point where if I was a bank, I would not even take a chance on myself. So, but on a serious note, the company that I represent, prior to that, I had been in other network marketing companies. And this was the very first time that, Fred, I could say with boldness that I did my homework, talking about due diligence. The company was based in Montreal at the time, and that's where it originated. When I saw names like John Molson from the Molson family, behind it, when I saw a name like Chuck Roberts, who was the grandson of the founding president of Kraft Food of Canada, when I saw the main investor, Mr. Dieterbier, who used to own Tech Electronics. He was the first person to start that company, Tech Electronics. So these three partners rallied behind the doctor who actually gave us our flagship product. So if you watch where I'm sitting right behind me, that's the doctor of our flagship product. And we'll talk about that some other time. But what I'm saying is, Fred, when I went to Montreal that fateful February, and I met a Molson for the first time, shaking the hand of a Molson. When you hear about Molson, usually it's in a bottle. But this time I'm meeting one, shaking hands, and I'm thinking, these people probably know something that I don't know. And the science behind the flagship product was something that I would say it impressed me from day one. All the research was done at McGill University, and you and I know in our beautiful country, Canada, if something is coming from, say, McGill University, University of Toronto, and other universities that I don't want to mention and, leave some out, you want to take a closer look. That's what I did. And all I can say is it's been 23 plus years. The company has not disappointed me. And when you find a good thing, you just want to hold on to it. And that's what
you hold on to it, and that's good. I just wanted to get it out there so that our audience would know that we're not talking about fly-by-night things. What we're going to be talking about today is general information that is out there, but we're just making it, we're just simplifying it for our audience. We're not doctors. I have to put it out there. We're not doctors, and we're not giving advice. What we're giving is general information that a lot of research has been done. And we have chosen this topic because it is a topic that needs to be talked about. And the topic we're talking about, we're going to be addressing today is the prostate gland in the male reproductive system. So prostate cancer, it is something that can remain symptomless for a very long time. And so people need to be educated. They need to educate themselves about the risk and have regular screening with a doctor, right? We know based on the research, based on education that has been put out there, or rather information that has been put out there, early detection is critical, as prostate cancer is always treatable. And it is often curable. Now, help me to explain to my audience in your layman way, as I said, we're not doctors. How should we as men take care of their prostate besides getting a foot massage? As last week we were talking about massaging the feet, and it could help to stimulate the prostate and stuff like that. But let me also put this out there that as long as you're a male, you are in the crosshairs of prostate cancer, all right? It doesn't matter what race, what social status you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. As long as you have been designated male from birth, you are in the crosshairs of prostate cancer. As we get older, you'll find that out, all right? So Foster, let's talk about this thing. Prostate cancer. What are some of the symptoms that you know of?
Fred, I'm laughing because I want you to know how smart I am. Of course, I had no idea what you were going to ask me, but when I say I got ahead of you, I shaved to make sure that I have no gray hair.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm laughing is,
I mean, we didn't prepare any questions here, right?
yes,
So,
yes. So
okay.
I'm laughing because when you start talking about as long as you're a male, and I just made a connection that once you get to certain age,
Yeah.
gray hair is unavoidable. So I'm glad that I shaved and you still got gray hair. So that's why I was laughing. So, I mean, Fred, when you think about, prostate problems in general, even before we get to the prostate cancer, I want our listeners to start thinking about the human body. I mean, I don't have any medical background, but I come from a background of common sense. And in the Akan language, I'm originally from Ghana, West Africa, but in the Akan language, there's a saying that if you find that somebody's beard is on fire, you want to get a bucket of water close to yours, because you never know when. And I think this proverb probably came from a village. I'm a country boy, so I guess the person said it because it's not everything that you can call 911. Certain places 911 does not work. Okay, so you need to apply wisdom. And the way I look at the prostate issue, it's almost like the way you get this light, that comes on that says check engine.
Mm-hmm.
When you see that check engine light, okay, it doesn't mean that your car is going to break down tomorrow. But boy, if you're a wise person, I hope you take it to the mechanic shop and have them check. And I think one of the things that I'm really, really grateful for being in this country, Canada, is the fact that, the medical system has certain things that can help to screen. One of them is the PSA. Now, like anything else in medicine, there are controversies here and there. There are some who believe in it and some who don't. But I look at the PSA as, check the engine light, because at least if your PSA reading does not, and the PSA, for those who are not fully aware, the PSA stands for prostate specific antigen, and is the blood work that normally is the indicator, or that's the perceived indicator. And if doctors are able to get certain readings that will cause them to think that, you may be at risk, that's what I'm calling the engine light. The check engine light comes on and somebody say, hey, you need to go get your car checked. That's when a doctor may probably, refer you to a specialist. But based on the seriousness of this, the prostate enlargement, which is something that is often referred to as BPH, the benign prostatic hyperplasia, that's the one that caused me to laugh at you, Fred. It's as natural as getting gray hair. You can't avoid that.
Can't avoid it.
So let's talk and have this straight conversation. Say, hey, if prostate enlargement is as natural as getting gray hair, what do you need to do to slow the process? And hopefully that's the kind of conversation we're going to have.
Excellent answer. Also, I want to add about the PSA, the prostate specific antigen. That is a protein that is produced by both cancerous and non-cancerous tissue in the prostate. So you don't have to have a cancerous tissue in the prostate for the PSA to be rising. And as you noted, as you get older, that light that comes on that gives you a warning in your car, just take that imagery and put it into your body. If you start finding that you're having problems urinating, you're having sexual problems, you need to seriously take a look at the light and go to the human mechanic, the doctor.
Fred, if I may add, like we talk about the warning signs, and I use this analogy of the check the engine light, as something that people can relate, because sometimes we as people, we are in denial, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a discussion the other day with somebody, and I said, well, you need to check with your wife because he was in denial. And I said, if you are getting up several times in the middle of the night, it's not just about you. You're also disturbing your wife's sleep because, when you wake up in the morning, you should feel fresh. But if you wake up tired in the morning, that means you didn't get enough sleep. Let's face it.
Yep.
And eventually he accepted the fact that, you know what, you're right. I said, the body is not lying to you, especially once you get to a certain age. All those symptoms, frequent urination, sometimes the urgency, you must go. Some people, if they don't find a washroom nearby, they're going to pee themselves.
Yep.
As we speak, Fred, there are people who wear diapers. And these are all things that people have been putting off over the years, thinking that, well, if it may have happened to this person, but people have this seatbelt mentality that, well, I can drive without a seatbelt. And I don't want to digress, Freddie. You know what happened to me on Friday. I was in a major car accident. I should not be alive talking to you today. Yeah. But I can tell you, having a seatbelt on and having a lot of things in place did help. So yeah, those symptoms we need to,
I'm glad you were able to make it here today. Happy to see you. Now, we're talking about men's health, and we're talking specifically about the prostate gland. But I want our audience to know that this show is not just about men, because as Foster rightly pointed out, women can also be affected by the lack of care by the male when it comes to this issue, because it doesn't just disrupt the male's health, it disrupts the entire family. So if you have a partner or a family and you're experiencing these kind of symptoms, it is very important to let them know that you're having these symptoms so that proper attention, proper care could be given. Now, I want to touch on the type of testings. You mentioned the PSA, which is a blood draw, and the specific antigen, prostate antigen is being measured. But there's also things like digital rectal exam. Would you be able to talk about that?
I mean, Fred, we have talked about, now you and I, but over the years, I've had the privilege of going to certain radio stations, and sometimes when we're talking about the different types of examinations that are available, which are the screening process, one that I always get a kick out of is when men are a little uncomfortable having a doctor put on the glove and trying to examine. And, here's the thing, though. I think pride is a dangerous thing in a big way. Pride. Because we are refusing to have a doctor put on a glove, stick a finger for, let's say, few seconds, 5 minutes in the doctor's office to find out whether we have it or don't have it. And the purpose of that examination is, it helps the doctor to get a feel when the prostate is getting enlarged, because most of the time, if the prostate is getting enlarged, of course, there are so many ways that they can treat it medically. But a doctor has no way of knowing until they've done certain, tests. Yeah. Now, obviously, if they do a PSA, and depending on the reading, and this in itself has a variety of ways to go about and different factors, because somebody who's 40, 50, 60, 70, and their PSA level might be different. So they put a lot of factors in place based on the numbers that comes out during the PSA test and the person's age. More often than not, if they suspect that is becoming cancerous, they'll refer you to a specialist. And one that is very, very common is when they have to use the needle to get tissue out of the prostate so that they can actually examine to see if the prostate is becoming cancerous. Fred, I think that particular process is very painful, but at the same time, it can save a person's life. I think this is where the conversation is going. You may have temporary discomfort, but that could also save your life, because you see, here's the thing that most people are not aware of. As I study about prostate cancer, it is something that is often referred to as a silent time bomb.
Yeah.
It can go off anytime. Why?
Yeah.
Because when people wait, and by the time they find out it's already at stage 3 or stage 4, that's what I call a silent time bomb, because a person may be having lower back pain. They may be having pain somewhere in the hips without knowing that it's all related to prostate cancer. So if you're a male over 40, and you're refusing to get your regular prostate examination done, for me, you're fooling yourself, Fred. I think people should wake up.
You're just waiting for the trigger to be pulled. And one of the main reason why the doctor does the digital rectal exam is he wants to feel the back wall of the prostate. He wants us to see how large the gland has developed. And he's also checking for lumps. He's checking for any hard spots, and he's checking for any tenderness. And that's the reason sometimes it could be very uncomfortable, very painful. So, and that is the initial step. Now, we know that a lot of research has been done with in the area of prostate treatment. A lot of research all around the world has been done, but there are several factors that might affect a man's risk of getting prostate cancer, and that includes things like age. For example, you mentioned, Foster, if you're below 40, you're kind of okay, even though I have read in some cases it's getting more prevalent among men from age 35 or so. Doctors are recommending that they start going in to check their prostate. But the minute you hit 40, right, as we know, the prostate gland starts to swell. So age is a very important factor to start checking the prostate. And when you get into 50s and your 60s, then you really need to start doing more serious maintenance, right? And the next factor is race, right? Now, I'm certain you're aware of this, Foster, that as Black men, we tend to be more, for some reason, genetically exposed to prostate cancer. I don't know why. Doctors can't tell you the exact reason why, but what is it about us as a people, our culture, that we don't want to go to the doctor? Why is it that fair?
I mean,
this is not just North America. This is around the world. Black men around the world are most susceptible to prostate cancer.
Yeah. So, Fred, when I look at, we talk about knowledge. We say knowledge is power, and I would take it a step further. I believe applied knowledge is what gives you power, because you can have all the knowledge in the world. For example, I believe that prevention is better than cure. But if all that I do is, just believe and do absolutely nothing, to me, that's just knowledge. But if I know that something like this can help me, as an example, and let's say I'm doing my little commercial, let's say on a regular basis, I decide to take what I need to take for prevention. Now I'm applying the knowledge. Now, you have asked a specific question, which I believe lack of knowledge has something to do with it, because a lot of people have been sitting on this thing thinking that if they don't know, it won't hurt them. It's very common in my culture, by the way. So I want you to know, we have so many people that they feel, well, if I don't get any bad news, then it won't hurt me. Wrong, 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 wrong. The fact that you don't know, that's not guaranteed that, sorry, I gotta wipe it. The fact that you don't know, does not protect you from anything. And then what happens is, most of us, I mean, I was a teenager when my dad passed away, but I don't have any family record about whether, he had any prostate problems, whether his dad had prostate problems. Some of this information was probably kept away from us as young boys, or they themselves, they didn't know. Okay, so let's say culturally, we've all inherited this, where, we come from a background where it's almost like, if you have a problem, particularly health problem, people think it's a taboo to even share with a friend or a brother.
That is very true.
How can you get help when nobody knows that you're suffering? Just imagine this. How can you get help? This afternoon, I went to the hospital to go get checked to make sure that everything is okay. How can somebody help me if I don't initiate what I must do? So I look at our race, the fact that people are uncomfortable being examined, not allowing the doctor to put a finger. If you are still holding on to set pride, and yet hoping that you're going to beat prostate cancer, you're fooling yourself. Right? We need to wake up. I think the reason why we are dying, and I don't have any medical evidence to support it, part of it is, us being, that naive and, ignorant enough thinking that it can go away for not knowing. And also the pride issue, thinking that we can beat prostate cancer if we, push the doctor away and do absolutely nothing. I think that to me is dangerous. And the other race, they're a little bit more proactive when it comes to getting their physical examination done on a regular basis. So then it reduces the risk. That is where I believe, Fred, if I can say this quickly, based on what I know, prostate cancer, colon cancer, if it's detected early, you can beat it. And both cancers, there are ways of screening, and you've already mentioned this. The same way when it comes to colon cancer, you receive something in the mail from your doctor. If you have a good doctor, they'll tell you it's time to go get your colon cancer checked. Why? Because they know if you get certain results early enough, something can be done.
Yeah. And with that said, I saw you took a drink just now, and I'm kind of jealous, right? So we're going to talk about this drink that you just had, okay? But before I do that, let me just go to our email. We have quite a few that came in. And this one is from Earl, and he says, hello, Fred and Foster. Thank you for talking about this very important medical issue. I'm listening to you from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Blessings to you. Thank you very much for that wonderful email, James. And we got another one from Vic. This is from Bob. And he says, hello, Fred. This says it all. Saw palmetto, right? And I want you folks to take a note of that word, that name, saw palmetto. I'll get back to that in a moment. Here's another one from Karen. And she said, hello, gentlemen, very important show today. Thanks for enlightening your male listeners. I am a urology nurse. Men need to know that after the age of 40, it is very important to have their prostate checked by two means. The PSA, which we talked about that, the prostate-specific antigen, and the digital rectal prostate exam. There are a lot of hesitation from men for the second test, but it is one of the most reliable tests out there for initial prostate tests. It does not really hurt. You've never had one. It can be uncomfortable, but it is usually quick and can be life-saving. Get it and live. Thank you very much for that well-written email, Karen. I'm just going to read another one. John, this one is from John. And he said, just love the names of your guest books. So creative. Where can I purchase them? I'll tell you that at the end. I live in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. And so that's the kind of email, that we get. So Foster, at the end of the show, you'll have to tell people how to get your book and the product as well. So I'm coming back. Don't think that you're the only one, Foster, that has this product, right? I take this on a regular basis, and we're going to talk about this product, why all men should be taking this product, especially if you have hit the age of 35 and onward. You should be taking this product every day. I had some already today, but I'm telling you, this product tastes so good that I can afford to drink it twice.
You're getting greedy now. You're getting greedy.
I am. I am. This is food. You can't overdose on it, right? So Foster, don't think that you're the only one could drink Magistral, okay?
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So the product that you just saw me take, folks, for those of you that are on YouTube and on Facebook, for those of you that are listening, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to see the antics that we're performing here, but it's called Magistral. It's one of the products that is produced by Immunotech, Canadian company in Montreal. Foster is a representative of that company. He's also a user. I am a user. I've been using it for 15 years. So I can tell you that it's a wonderful product. It does wonders. And the beauty about it that is they have improved on the taste. Prior to this, I used to make up my face to take it. Now, as you've just seen, I took a second shot today. All right. So I really love it. It has a wonderful flavor. But tell us about this product, Foster. Why should men be taking this product? What does it do? And we're also going to be talking about some of the ingredients. So we have a little bit of time. Let's get into it.
Fred, I kudos to you. I can tell that you have wise audience on this platform. The person who mentioned Saul Promerto, if I was wearing a hat, I would take my hats off to you. Yep. That is somebody who is ahead of the game. And in my office, I have at least about 10 books on Saul Promerto. But let me even hold this because somebody mentioned Saul Promerto. I want you to know this book is all about Saul Promerto, okay? So the person is right on. Here is what I know. Some of us believe that prevention is better than cure. Mm-hmm. And I think there's wisdom in that. But if you don't have anything to use, then prevention is better than cure. It's only theory. Now, Saul Promerto is one of the well-known, well-researched, botanical stuff that I would say has been around from the 1800s. Now, Europe in particular, if you do any research on Saul Promerto, this is not me saying it. That's what I love about a show like this. I don't have to be the message. I'm only the messenger, right? So I'm not a doctor. I'm just a messenger of good news. And, when I look at, Fred, my schedule, sometimes I'm in places like Mexico and I'll have like 5, 6, 7,000 people in the audience. And it's because the topic for discussion makes sense. When it comes to the Saul Promerto, which is nature's prostate, remedy, yep, is something that is no longer a secret for people who are in the know. I mean, the person who made mention of the Saul Promerto has done some reading. And this is what happens when you do your homework. Because remember, even with a PSA, Fred, this is what I tell people. And I appreciate the oncology nurse who is here with us. You see, when you go do your general checkup, that is the first step. The doctor will tell you whether you have it or you don't have it. But here's the question though. Even when you don't have it, what do you do in between the time from not having it until you go back next year? That's when something like this comes in, friends. That's when something like this comes in, because while you are waiting to go back, you need to be proactive. When it comes to our health, I'm going to say this, Fred. I always tell people, it's either you are proactive or reactive.
Yep.
Most people understand this. Proactive means doing something ahead of time. Reactive means you wait until something happens that then you go, oh my goodness, why did it happen to me? Well, who should it happen to? You did not do anything, so.
Yeah, and you know, let me just expound a bit on saw palmetto. It's the very first ingredient in this product, right? The very first ingredient.
It is the very first ingredient. We have 5, but that's the very first.
Yeah, and it's 2,250 milligrams of saw palmetto is in this product. And why saw palmetto is so good is because, as Foster said, it is used to treat enlarged prostate. It improves urinary tract function, and it enhances, for those of you who want to grow your hair, it enhances hair growth as well. Okay, so that's important to know.
Now, Fred, before you ask the next question, I'm gonna say this.
I know you shave.
Even though we're talking about prostate health,
yeah,
when it comes to the saw palmetto as a whole, or let's say as a singular entity, it can even be used by women for certain gynecological problems because during their menstrual stages and all that. So we have to look at, the only difference is when we start talking about our product Magistra, then because of all the additional herbs that have been added to it,
yes,
it's more specific for prostate health. But I'm just saying saw palmetto as a singular plant or, berry, women can benefit from that also.
Yeah, and I was going to get to that a little later. Also, I want to mention another of the 5 ingredients is ginkgo biloba, right? Which is used to treat circulatory problems, okay? And this is something that if your prostate is enlarged, it can hamper the urination and circulation and stuff like that. Then it also has ginseng, which is an antioxidant and is also anti-inflammatory properties, right? Again, the prostate enlarged, chances are there would be inflammation in the area, and that's why this product, Magistral, is so effective. It also helps to regulate blood sugar levels and have benefits in some cancers. Then there is Damiana, okay? For those of you who don't know what Damiana is used to improve sexual function while decreasing impotence. So see, this product is not just for the prostate, but it's also for sexual enhancement. It improves sexual function. It reduces the incidence of impotence. And as you get older, these things will happen, folks. It will happen. So we're not just talking about a fly-by-night product, okay? This is a wonderful product. It has another ingredient that's called, and I can't pronounce this word properly, but I think it's
Murapuama, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Foster did it better than I could. But that product is, that ingredient, the reason it's in here, it is used to prevent sexual disorders and to increase the interest in sexual activity, or in other words, as an aphrodisiac, all right? It is also used for things like upset stomach and, as Prosper mentioned earlier, menstrual disorders. So it is not just a product for men, right? As Foster mentioned, this is a product that women can use to fight things like PMS symptoms, muscle aches, if you're having insomnia, headaches and pain, reducing depression, nervousness, anxiety, a number of things that this product can be used for. All right, so I'm just giving you in a bottle, you have everything, all the major ingredients that can solve. I have Foster rubbing his head, but it's, I'm telling the truth.
I'm laughing because what happened on Friday night, to our audience, my apologies for bringing this out, but Friday night we were in a major car accident, and my 16-year-old and I were in the ambulance as we were being checked. And every time they ask for my date of birth, and I give it to them, and then they will ask me again, and the guy said, "You don't look 60." And I said, my youngest son said, "Yeah, he is." And I was laughing in my head. But back to this, you mentioned certain additional
benefits.
benefits based on the plants that we have. And, I have friends on this call right now. Some are professors at universities. I won't single them up, but they're on the call watching live. But, when you mentioned the Mora Pluma, okay, back home in Ghana, we have this thing. I don't want them to steal my little gig here, but we have something we call potency wood. And this is something that helps for this erectile dysfunction. That is just one piece. So the Mora Pluma represent that.
Okay.
When it comes to something like ginseng and all that, on a broader level, ginseng gives energy, but that's what people think about. But ginseng also helps with male infertility and all that stuff. So just think about, I like the pharmacology behind this whole thing because it's not just one thing. When you mention about the aphrodisiac of the benefit of the Miana, that, some people spend money just for the aphrodisiac benefit alone. So if you have something that this is like 5 in 1, 5 medicinal plant by, pharmacologists, people that I would say have studied herbs. And here's something. In the beginning of this interview, you asked me why I have stayed with one company for the number of years. And I simply said, when you find a good thing, you stay with it.
You milk it.
This company did not start off as a marketing company. The main product I will talk about on a future visit, it had already 20 years research behind it at McGill University before the product was even launched in 1996. To this day, it's 45 years. So when you have something that has solid scientific backing, you see, I love the fact that I'm representing a company with natural products. But I'm equally fascinated by science, even though I have no science background. My background is business, accounting, and all that. But I love the fact that when science and business comes together, now you have, the what I call, a perfect storm, because you have the science to back you up.
Yeah.
And when you go to the marketplace today, even though there are so many things out there, even when people start talking about their natural product, can do this, can do that, I said, I have no doubt. The only thing is, when I want something with scientific backing, can you help me to make sure that, yes, it may be good, but I want to make sure that there's no contraindication with anything, there's no long-term side effect. And the reason why I talk about my 23 going 24 years very soon, I let people know I myself have been taking this product from day one. I laugh a lot about this. And Fred, you and I, we know that we've gotten to a point where we tell people, and we say it, but it's not that we can't do without it, but we know enough not to do without it. When something is helping you, it makes no sense to stop.
No.
This is food. And it's not like taking a painkiller today and once you get rid of your pain, you are preventing, and prevention does not happen just, you can't just get a gym membership, go there 1 week and build muscles for the rest of your life. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work. And that's why sometimes I take it twice a day, Foster.
No, you're a little greedy.
It's so good. Now, let me just take the opportunity here to tell our listeners, if you're joining us for the very first time, or you joined us late, you're listening to the Liquid Green Health Show on Reality Radio 101. For those of you that are seeing us, watching us on YouTube, we ask that you like, subscribe, share. Please, that's going to help us grow. And for those of you on Facebook, thank you for joining us at this time. Let me just take the opportunity to read a few more emails. This one is from Carl. He says, "You rock, Liquid Green." Yep, today we are rocking. We're talking about hard rock, solid evidence and products that we have been taking for years, and something that we would encourage you to get your hands on as quickly as possible. Here's something from Helga. "Hi, Fred. Listening to you from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Where is Janet? Is she okay?" Yeah, she's okay. I fired her, so she's okay. Don't worry, she's fine. She had to take some time off. Thanks for asking anyway. Here's another one from, who's this one from? Monique. Monique, she's saying, hello, we'll be listening today. Make it good. And I can tell you, this is a good show. We're rocking, we're having fun, we're drinking Magistral, and we're talking about prostate. And we'll tell you how you can put your hands in this product in a few minutes. So Foster, let's get back to the prostate thing, because you know, we need to talk about this some more. Doctors, you know, they have a way sometimes of the message, the way they put it over to you if you're diagnosed with a inflamed prostate. It can be scary. And I know you're not a doctor, you've never been in that situation where you have to explain to somebody, but as you said, in order for us not to get into that situation, we should be proactive, right? And we're highly recommending this product because in our view, in our experience, it's a product that does its work. It does what it says it has to, it is supposed to do. That's the simplest way of putting it. And so for someone who is scared of hearing a doctor tell them that they have a condition that may need drastic care, the best proactive action that they can take, that we would recommend right now, is to take Magistral. Am I correct?
You are correct, my friend. Let me say this, Fred. I'm beginning to love your show more, not because I'm on it tonight, but every time I listen, you make it clear that this show is for entertainment, but also is for education. And I like that. I like the fact that you've combined the two for a very simple reason. I've never been a science student, so I can't say that science is that fun. And if you don't make it fun, you know, you can put people to sleep.
Yes.
But let's look at this from how serious this prostate issue can become, okay? And you know, many years ago, I used to go to a particular radio station at York University. I won't mention the name of the radio, but I'll leave that up to you. And when I'm talking about prostate health, I would joke and ask the audience to put in the chat or call me and find and answer this. And the question has always been, how many prostate does a man have? 2, 4, 6, and I joke around, and the majority would say 2. And you know, they confuse the prostate with something else.
Yes.
And I said, don't be fooled, because there's only one prostate. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, Fred, is because, you see, it's one thing driving, having 4 tires and a spare tire. The prostate is only one. So when you lose it, like for example, and because we have an oncology nurse on this, let me put it this way, and she will agree with me. And if she does not, please give her her number, let her call me and beat me up. But let's put it this way. If you wait, rather than to prevent, if you wait and you have to go for, say, surgery, and in some cases, some people need surgery right away because they waited so long, and by the time they realize it's at stage 3 or stage 4, they must do something in a very drastic way. But on a more serious note, what I'm saying is, if you wait and they have to remove the prostate, whether it's only ladies or gentlemen on this call, we already know it's game over.
Precisely.
Once they remove the prostate, they're not going to put another one back for you.
There's no artificial ones.
So I have a lady, she's from Trinidad, and the way she describes it, and she's a little older than you and I combined, and she said, Foster, the prostate is a family jewel. You need to protect it. I said, you are right. Because when you get rid of the prostate, that's not just affect the man. It can
There's no turn. Everything.
Yes.
And Foster, we ran out of time, but this is, we can go on. I wish we had a lot more time that we can talk about this. But in the interest of time, tell us, one, how the audience could reach you to get your book or to get the product. And, go ahead.
Well, the very first book, How to Fire Your Boss and Hire Yourself, that they're going to have to go through you, because I call that the gold mine. It's not yet on Amazon, even though it's been around for a long time.
Okay.
It's a powerful book for people who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. But I'm also revising that book. That's why I'm saying it's a gold mine.
Okay.
It is so powerful. The request has been, I remember one time I was in Mexico, and at one event, I sold almost 1,000 copies.
Wow.
I've gotten some good feedback, so I'm adding more meat to it. However, the Leave Nothing to Chance, you can get it from Amazon. Right now, you put in Leave Nothing to Chance, you see Foster Wusu and John Solider, and you go to that, book, you'll be amazed to see what you can learn. Even if you're not into network marketing, it's a book that can prepare anybody for business. The product, Fred, I think you can give a better link than I want you to give
okay.
where people, and the reason why I want you to give a link, this, because I'd rather have your audience to get a discount when they go through that link. If they come to me, it's going to be too dangerous.
Okay, so let me make it easy for them.
Okay.
Just get a pen and paper, folks, and write this information down. If you want to get a bottle of Magistral, right? And I can't praise this product more than we have. I can talk about it for days on end. But if you want to get a bottle of Magistral, just go to immunotech.com/AHA. That's the letter A, the letter H, and the letter A. Immunotech.com/AHA. And, just do the search for Magistral, type in Magistral, it will comes up there, different prices there, different types of discounts, and you can buy as many bottles as you want, and drink your heart's content. Foster, it has been a pleasure. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm looking forward, because we have so much to talk about. There are other products that has done wonders for millions of people that everybody needs to be on it. The reason being, we'll discuss it when the time comes, but you have been a wonderful guest, looking spiffy as usual. And this has been a wonderful conversation. All right. And I really hope that our audiences have taken away something, whether you're male or female. This product could do wonders for you. Get it, immunotech.com/AHA. Foster, it's been a pleasure. All
Thank
right.
you, Fred.
Let's do this again. Let's do this again.
Give my regards to Janet, but let her know I feel rejected. She did not show up when I came on, but it's been good. Take care.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. You've been listening to Liquid Green Health Show on Reality Radio 101. And our guest was Foster Wusu from Immunotech Health Company in Canada. It's a Canadian-based company, and they're based in Montreal. And we are talking about prostate health and how important it is to make sure that as a male, that you take care of that one jewel that you have, as Foster said, it's irreplaceable. Right? It's not like other parts of the body that it can remove your heart or remove your liver and give you something to live on. Once that's gone, it's gone, and there's a lot of psychological damage, emotional damage that it can do. I have a few more email here. Hi to Janet and Fred. This one is from Madden. This show is really, really good. Men's health issue are not really talked about, and that is sad. You're bringing this to light. Liquid Green, saving one life at a time. Thank you for that, Madden. Here's one from Frank. Says, hi Fred, another great natural supplement for you is ryegrass pollen. That's good for the prostate as well. Thank you very much. And here's one from Rhonda. This news that you're broadcasting is amazing. I know several family men who have some sort of prostate issue. I will definitely be looking into your products. Thank you for letting us know. I live in Whitby, Ontario. Thank you very much for that, Rhonda. And that is bringing us to the end of the show. You can get our products at immunotech.com/AHA. You have been listening to the Liquid Green Health Show. Thank you for listening on Reality Radio 1, radio101.com. See you next week. Have fun.
Thank you for listening to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts, Fred and Janet Cox, right here on Reality Radio 101.